And where we track a whole host of stocks which are buzzing in trade. First up, I'm going to address Cipla, which is in focus on account of the Eli Lilly deal that they have struck. So just to put it, just to give you the news, what exactly has taken place is that Cipla has tied up with Eli Lilly, which is basically a global MNC, to market tirzepatide in India. Now, the agreement is for distribution and promotion of tirzepatide in India. Tirzepatide, as it is more popularly known as Mounjaro by Eli Lilly, which is basically the diabetes and weight loss drug, the GLP-1 drug, which they sell globally and which they launched in India as well in March 2025. So Cipla will be marketing tirzepatide under a second brand name called Urpeak. So Eli Lilly will continue to market Mounjaro in India, but Cipla will launch the same drug under a different brand name called Urpeak and will be selling the same drug, which is manufactured by Eli Lilly and at the same price, but just branded differently. Now, what is the advantage of that? Is that they will get more access for this particular drug. Eli Lilly has a certain amount of distribution. Cipla is much more well entrenched in the Indian system, and hence they have a better distribution strategy, and hence they will be able to market the drug better, and hence the access for this particular drug will then increase. Now, in terms of potential, the GLP-1 market could be around $1 billion over the next 4 years, according to analysts. So this could add around 3% to Cipla's domestic revenue and 1.5% to EBITDA in the next 3 years. Major players are waiting to launch semaglutide, which is basically the generic version of Wegovy in India, when it expires early next year. So this is something that the street will watch out for, that according to them, this is quite an innovative partnership that Cipla has struck. Just a couple of questions to keep in mind, which we will probably get answers to over a period, is whether or not this particular agreement is exclusive or not, or whether Eli Lilly can partner with other companies. And separately, what does this do to Cipla's plans to launch semaglutide in the Indian market as well? So as you can see, Cipla, the stock itself has run up quite significantly. It's up around 11% before the deal was struck in the past 2 weeks, and hence maybe a lot of the good news is factored in.
Take that point, Ekta. Thanks a lot for that. So that's about Cipla. Meanwhile, just watch out for Federal Bank as well. The stock on our radar for a long time. There were murmurs that the deal would happen, and the much-awaited deal indeed did happen. Gaurav?
Well, yes. When we look at Federal Bank, now Blackstone is going to invest around 6,200 crores in the bank for a stake of 10%. Remember, bank will be issuing around 27 crore convertible warrants for that, and they have got a share. They will be waiting for the shareholders' approval. Board has approved for the issuance of the warrants. Remember, after that, they will have 18 months to exercise these warrants, and at the same time, 25% of the entire deal amount will be payable at the time of issuance of the warrant. Now, what remains another key thing to watch out for is that the usage of fund. Now, when we look at the CET ratio or CRAR ratio, both the ratios are well above the guided range. When we look at CRAR ratio, it is at around 15.7%. CET ratio is at around Tier 1 ratio is at around 14.37%. So definitely one thing to watch out for is that how these funds are going to be utilized for the bank, because given the strategic growth drivers that they have given in February 2025, they are also targeting to place itself closer to next 3 or the best 3 banks. And with this, they have also said that the key focus areas will be in the wealth management, non-resident segment, corporate banking, and to become SME bank of choice. So definitely that is one question to watch out for, is that how they will utilize the funds. But as of now, big investment coming up in Federal Bank with around 6,200 crores of fresh capital from the Blackstone's investment to get around 10% equity share in the bank.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Gaurav. But Mangalam, you're also tracking Midwest, that is up almost 8%. What's happening here?
Well, Midwest is the new listing today, and it's listed about 8% higher than what, the issue price was at around 1,065 rupees. It's a leading player in the natural stone industry. It's experience in exploration, mining, processing and export of dimensional granite, but more importantly holds 64% share in the India's export market for Black Galaxy granite, which accounts for nearly 70% of their sales. But importantly, the trigger for them would be expanding their product portfolio through extraction of branded Leza granite, grey marble and Celestia quartzite. So their current quartzite capacity can give them revenues of almost 250 crores. but they have used these funds from the IPO to double that. So that could be another 500 crore worth opportunity. If you look at their last year's revenue, 626 crores, EBITDA margins of 27%, net profit at around 133 crore rupees. This year, first quarter as well, matches that sort of run rate. But importantly, we spoke to the management on a couple of things, and they said, you know, the current margins at 27% thereabouts are sustainable. In fact, their aspiration is to go to that 30-35% mark. And also their aspiration is to take their revenue from 140-150 crores per quarter to about 250 to 300 crores per quarter, taking their revenue to about 1,200 crores and margins at around 35% by FY30. International peers, they say, have margins of over 40%. And that's the business for them, which will be a big contributor. In the next 3 to 4 years, they believe Quartz and HMS will be more than 50% of sales versus sub 30% right now. 70% currently comes in from black granite, which grows at around 11% as a CAGR. The other businesses turn up in terms of growth as well. Let's hear out what the management, in fact, had to say to us about the growth prospects of the company.
In terms of the largest tailwinds are going to come from our new businesses, which is Quartz for engineered stone, as well as solar glass industry, which we have commenced production last quarter. And that is in the short term. And in the medium term, the growth drivers would be the heavy mineral sands project, out of which we will supply the feedstock to the titanium downstream industries, as well as the byproduct monazite, which will cater to the rare earth industry. Our margins of current business are sustainable because of the cost measures and the positioning of the business that we are in. We are sitting on a resource which is rare and supplies to a global feedstock in terms of the granite. And if you look at the margin profiles of similar companies, though they are not in India, outside India, for example, Iluka, which will be a reference in Australian exchange for heavy mineral sands business, their margins are upwards of, it's listed on ASX, upwards of 40s. And in rare earths, you can always refer to companies like Linus Rare Earths, which is also listed overseas, and you can look at those numbers.
Okay, all right. So a decent listing coming in from Wintwest. The stock is up around 8% at this point. But let's move on from movers